Winfrey, a winner. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you too, and good morning.
Morning to you. Let's start with, of course, the fuel prices. They've remained unchanged.
Yeah, so every mid-month, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority releases the new prices for fuel. And yesterday was such a day. So yesterday they did not make any changes to the fuel prices, and it's very interesting because it means they had to bring in subsidies for the fuel. And President Ruto, while he was campaigning, he had really made it very clear that he was going to do away with subsidies for maize, unga, and all these other products, because he was really reiterating on increasing the production. So it seems he had to change his mind just to make sure the fuel prices do not cross the 200 shilling mark. So if were it not for the subsidy that was introduced, then it means fuel would be going for more than 200 shillings per litre now. And then oil marketers, although reports are showing that oil marketers were opposing this, because they say when they introduce the subsidy, of course, doing business with government is always the same. There's a lot of pending bills and debts, which is by now they're saying is about 45 million. So we don't really know how it's going to go, but fuel prices did remain unchanged, and we'll just see what will happen next month, if the subsidies will remain there or if they will be removed.
Of course, you know, anything to do with fuel also talks about cost of living. But moving away from Kenya, of course, let's talk about Donald Trump. I mean, I know he's been indicted over the 2020 Georgia election. Tell us about that.
Yes. Donald Trump is one of the former presidents of the United States who's really hitting the headlines for, let me just call it, the wrong reasons. He's always on the wrong side of the law, and I don't know why. So Monday evening on the other side, which for us is Tuesday morning, he was indicted, and the news broke. It's all over now. He was indicted with 19 other people, including the former chief of staff during his reign, the former chief of staff of the White House. So they are facing 41 charges, and he's being indicted after an investigation that was done for 2.5 years. So it all began when he made a phone call during the 2021 election, the early 2021 election, if that's when Joe Biden took office. So he made a phone call to election officials in Georgia, and he was telling them to add him 11,780 more votes so that he can surpass Joe Biden. And now the recordings led to the investigations. Now he's been indicted, and it's also very important to note that this is his 4th indictment since he left office. So it's a very interesting scenario for him, but we'll see, because he also wants to come in for a second term in their next election.
Which I find it very interesting. Next year they should be having elections. He wants to come in, and he's been one of the most controversial, you know, former presidents in in states, of course. Moving off from the US now, there's been tragedies happening. Of course, here we've seen the gas explosion. Well, that one person died, but overseas in Russia that was also happening. Tell us about that.
Yes, in Russia on Monday evening there was what do I call it? An explosion in a petrol station, and the people who are there are saying, actually the police and the investigators are saying, there was a car maintenance going on, and then something didn't go right, and that's when there was a bang, and then the explosion came. So far, 27 people have died, according to reports from the Russian government authorities. They're saying 27 people have died from the incidents. Of course, the investigations are still going on, and there are so many others who have been injured from the incident. So we have the emergency response teams are on the ground, and they are just dealing with the whole situation. And also home, just as we've said, here in Eastleigh, there was a building yesterday that was on fire. Although the police say it was a gas explosion, it's not really clear, because from the report, our reporter who was on the ground, he was a bit skeptical about it. He was raising some very pertinent questions about whatever happened there. But of course, let's get to wait and see what the police will say. But in Eastleigh, 1 person died, and 3 others were also injured. Yes.
I mean, I think we'll get the investigation report a bit later.
Yes.
Moving away from fire and, of course, the current affairs, let's talk about entertainment. So Disney is releasing a movie, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Tell us about that, because I know there's been a bit of critics who are talking about it.
It has really been trending for a while. It's always on and off. The trend about this whole movie. So Disney decided to redo the classic of Snow White and Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Of course, now the movie, they have removed the Seven Dwarfs part, so it's now just the Snow White movies. And it all the controversy began when they picked their main actress, a Latina, and now racism started, and she was being trolled on and off. Of course, there are so many other people who have also been trolled because of their race when they are picked for major roles in such big productions. So yes, so that's what is going on. And of course, the trend has also come up again because now Disney released a trailer and they say they are planning to now officially release the the movie next year. So that's where the critique also began again, and it's just everybody giving out their opinion. Others saying that the major actress who was given the role of the major role is not fit for it. She has her shortcomings. Just people throwing in jabs from left, right, and center.
You know, in the States, especially when it comes to racism, it's very serious. I mean, you saw The Little Mermaid when it came out. You had it's a black girl performing. And of course, it was sort of the same sentiments. A lot of people didn't like that.
Very, very true.
Right.
And then maybe just to add on this, I think this is also like a plus to the production team because it's selling the movie. I didn't know about it, but through the trend and all those trolls, I get to know about it. Now I'm eager, waiting to see what's in this